Okay, hey, congratulations. You must be so proud to be here presenting your book as a movie here in front of Comic-Con. How does that feel?
It feels amazing, and honestly, I'm so proud of Jen and the cast and the crew. They've put together such a fun popcorn movie, and it has something for everybody. It has such a great emotional heart, but it's a wild ride in terms of the twists and the thrills. So I'm excited for everyone to see it, and I'm really happy to be here.
Not a lot of authors, when they write their books, actually think that their story becomes into a movie. So when you first heard that The Darkest Minds was going to be made into a full feature film, what was your initial reaction?
My initial reaction was complete and utter disbelief. I think I was the last person to believe that this movie was happening because I kept, it was just such a slow, steady process of putting everything together. It was first optioned in 2011, and so to have it made in 2018, I was like, wow, that somehow it all ended up working out. All of the pieces came together. But they hired a screenwriter, and I was like, well, they hire screenwriters for projects that never come to fruition. So I'm excited, but I'm not going to let myself get too excited. And then Jen was brought on, and I was like, well, they attached directors, it's nothing to get excited about. And I think I did not accept it was actually happening until my set visit, and now I'm in total disbelief, but I'm so excited.
How much hands-on experience did you actually get to work with the scriptwriter for this project? How much input that you actually get to put into this?
I actually had I still have a great relationship with Chad Hodge, who is the screenwriter. He's done Wayward Pines and Good Behavior, so he had a lot of experience with adapting book to film. He had done book to television before, so he knew to ask things like what are the fan favorite lines? What are the lines they're going to want to hear the actors say in the movie? What are the scenes that really resonated and worked? So he and I would have these epic long phone calls, and because he was on the West Coast and I was in New York at the time, we would go through the story and go through his ideas for making changes. So I felt very lucky that he included me, and he believes that writers have to stick together, and I believe that too.
I want to ask you about your experiences because you mentioned that you went on the set visit.
I did.
Was it everything that you imagined in your head when you wrote the book and now see it in the set?
It was incredible. These sets are amazing, and everyone who worked on this film is so talented, from Jen down through even the production assistants who were running around and managing everything and getting everyone where they needed to be. It was kind of crazy to see certain things come directly out of my head and suddenly be in front of me and on film. So I think they did an amazing job.
Now, one of the things that a lot of authors, because their books are their favorites, but in order to make it into a movie, certain changes actually have to be made. Yeah. So were you okay with the changes? Did they actually ask you permission? I mean, what's going on?
They walked me, Jen, bless her, was so nice. She walked me through all of the changes as they were kind of thinking about it, and as they got closer to filming, they kind of tweaked the script a little bit more to better suit film. And I told everyone going in, I'm not precious about my work. I totally understand that changes have to be made. There are things I can do on the page that you can't do on the screen, and vice versa. But I felt so much better having talked to Jen for the first time, because she got that the story was Ruby's story, and it was a story about these four young people coming together. It wasn't necessarily this big action blockbuster. After speaking to her, I knew that aspect of the story would never get lost, so I felt so comfortable and was able to step back a little bit more. And I think the changes that they made are really smart. I really don't have a problem with 99.9% of them. So I think they nailed it, and they managed to condense the story down. It's a long book. It's almost 500 pages. And it's an amazing, I keep saying, it's an amazing movie. I'm the #1 fan, clearly.
Is there a particular scene that's your favorite that you can't wait for your fans to actually check it out on the big silver screen?
Yes. So the ending of the book is a little bit infamous. It's a little, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a little bit of a tearjerker. And I was really interested to see how that would come across on screen. And the two actors who are, I'm trying to keep it quiet. The two actors who are in that scene are amazing in it. And they showed me a cut, or one of the takes, while I was visiting the set, and I pretty much started crying because it was so perfect and so moving. And I think the fans of the book are going to die when they watch that part of the movie. You're literally going to end the movie just like tears, weeping. So
now, of course, you're here at San Diego Comic-Con with the director, Jen,
Yes.
with the cast. I mean, how much excitement is all of this that you get to present to the fans? And I believe it's probably your first Comic-Con?
this is actually not my first Comic-Con, but I've only ever come as an author, and I think it's a completely different thing to see the film and TV side of Comic-Con versus the book side of Comic-Con. Book side is a little chiller, I have to say, but I'm so excited that Fox asked me to come and spend time with the actors and Jen, and it's always such a party when we get to hang out together. So I just feel like they're number one fan in the background. Like, you guys are amazing. So.
And could you talk about some of your upcoming projects yourself after all this?
Yes.
I mean, you're probably, there are some books up the works, right?
Yes, always. There's always, I think, 3 books going, it seems. But my next book actually comes out the Tuesday before the film. It's a new book. It's a standalone in the Darkest Mind series. It's called The Darkest Legacy, and it's set 5 years after the original trilogy ends, and we switch narrators. So Zoo, who's played by Mia Czech in the movie, is the narrator of this book. And then I have a middle grade series, which is for middle schoolers and upper elementary kids, called The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding. It's great for fans of like Hocus Pocus. It's a very Halloween-y, spooky book about a family curse, and that was actually recently optioned for film. So now I'm like,
Wow.
I feel like I just lucked out. I feel like the luckiest author in the world right now.
So I guess you'll be back here again.
Fingers crossed, hopefully.
And one last question. I mean, one of the things that a lot of people would think that this is a sort of like a comic book superhero, which is not.
Yeah.
But where was the initial idea actually came from for the Darkest Mind series?
It came from, so it's almost a sad origin. I was thinking about a time in my life when I felt at my most powerless, which was when I was a teenager. I was a freshman in high school right after September 11th happened, and I just felt this need to go out and help people and to make a positive impact on the world, but I had no real avenue or idea on how to actually do that. And so I think young people really have this drive and energy to be able to impact the world and make positive change, but the world kind of tries to suppress that. And, even saying things to teenagers like, you'll understand when you're older, that's so dismissive. Teenagers are so smart, so enthusiastic, and they really, right now, are absolutely changing the world. So it's been amazing to watch all of the younger teen activists really standing up in the past year and a half. And so the powers in the movie were always meant to represent that need and that urge and that drive, like I was saying, to make change, and the world kind of like being like, no, stay in your box. You're just a kid. What do you know?
That's true. Well, hey, thank you for sharing that story, and I appreciate this interview. Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.